Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We're broadcasting live from our studios here in Abuja. I'm Dennis Adigunloye. Thanks for joining us. Now the headlines.
Oil companies like the IOCs want to invest, but the pricing framework is an issue for them. So we are working to ensure that we put the pricing framework.
President Buhari expresses satisfaction with implementation of Petroleum Industry Act.
That bold, decisive actions that need to be taken so that we can make progress.
Federal government on conditional cash transfer to cushion the effect of subsidy removal.
The fire for fake news and intimidation of the silent majority by a prosperous age.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed dismisses Lagos State Panel of Inquiry reports on police brutality. Plus, federal government reiterates commitments to improved passport application process for Nigerians. Let's begin at the State House, where President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed satisfaction with the level of implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act so far and urged the newly inaugurated regulatory agencies to ensure that Nigeria and Nigerians derive maximum benefits from the critical economic sector. This was when he granted audience to the Chief Executive of the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, as well as his upstream counterpart, Gbenga Komolafe. State House correspondent Adam Usambo has details.
The chief executives of the petroleum regulatory agencies were led to the State House by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva. It was their very first meeting with the president and therefore used the opportunity to bring him up to speed on their programs of action aimed at transforming as well as adding value to the oil and gas sector of the Nigerian economy.
We intend to operate in a manner that we facilitate and enable investment in the industry in a manner that we mitigate effect of that energy transition. And part of the effect that is already being noticeable is funding challenges. We intend equally to ensure full digitization of the upstream activities to optimize value for the nation in the industry.
We have abundance of gas in this country, but it has not been harnessed. So we need to encourage investment in the area. Now, a lot of major oil companies like the IOCs want to invest, but the pricing framework is an issue for them. So we are working to ensure that we put the pricing framework that is attractive enough for the investors, at the same time simple enough for the consumers. Just to reiterate that, yep, we are going to continue the bridging and the payment will be made to transporters. There's no doubt about that.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, told journalists that President Buhari is delighted that a lot is happening in the petroleum sector, justifying the coming into effect of the Petroleum Industry Act.
Mr. President charged us to ensure that we use our best experience to ensure that the industry is on track and do what is best in the interests of Nigeria at all times.
President Buhari, the minister, also said is concerned about the continuous rise in the price of cooking gas in the market.
I can assure you that we are doing everything to see how we can bring down the price of gas, especially as we approach the Yuletide.
Discussions also centered on the recent oil spillage in Nembe, Bayelsa State.
Mr. President is very personally interested in that, and he has actually asked us to go and visit the site to assess the situation and report back. Definitely, we are quite concerned with what is happening in Nembe, and we'll be going there tomorrow.
The regulatory agencies in the petroleum industry were inaugurated 1 month ago in line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The federal government says it is working on a conditional cash transfer for citizens to cushion the impact of subsidy removal, which may take effect from the first quarter of 2022. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed said this at the unveiling of Nigeria Development Update by the World Bank Group in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
This is the second time that the World Bank is launching Development Update on Nigeria this year. The twice-a-year Development Assessment Report indicates that subsidy, high inflation and physical risk, among other factors, are major impediments on growth, despite projections of 2.7 growth in 2021 and 2.8 in 2022.
For the federal government, what we're projecting is that next year, in comparison to 2021, the federal government could be receiving 13% lower revenues in nominal terms.
To support Nigeria in making progress on this core task of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty.
The report highlights the urgency of reducing inflation, subsidy removal, flexible foreign exchange management, and protecting the poor as critical measures needed to speed up recovery.
So this report for us is another wake-up call. It's like shaking everybody out of maybe the stupor that we're in to galvanize the whole of the community, so that is government, including citizens, to take that bold, decisive action, actions that need to be taken so that we can make progress.
This need to be in place because we can job. It's not a failure of communication. It is just social reality that you never plan fully for it. And of course, those engagements are still ongoing, and the provisions of the law is such that by end of February, that we should be out of the subsidy regime. That is what the Honourable Minister is emphatic.
As state governments, we are committed to supporting the federal government on this compact. We will do our bit to engage with all stakeholders and put the facts on the table so that everyone understands the danger the country is in if this subsidy continues.
Policymakers are expected to take advantage of the recommendations. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the immediate suspension of the inauguration of the newly constituted board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, earlier scheduled for Wednesday, 24th November 2021. A statement signed by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, indicates that the suspension is till further notice and a new date for the inauguration of the NNPC board will be announced in due course. The SGF notes that inconveniences caused to members of the board by this suspension are regretted. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria has again retained the monetary policy rate and all parameters. Governor of the Apex Bank, Godwin Emefiele, said members agreed to hold the position and allow recovery measures to remain for a while. Leah Katumba Batunde reports.
Up to the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting for the year, experts had opined rates would remain unchanged, and true to that, the committee did, after studying the present fundamentals shaping the macro and microeconomy. Governor Emefiele took time to explain happenings in the monetary space, focusing on the funds injected into the economy by the central bank.
Members expressed confidence in the ongoing policies of both the monetary and fiscal authorities, which in their view was the hallmark of the current recovery and restoration of macroeconomic stability in Nigeria. They therefore called on both the authorities to look beyond the current position and plan towards attracting sustainable investment flows into Nigeria.
So far, 560,000 downloads of the eNaira app have been recorded, with modalities set for the takeoff of the Infrastructure Corporation Infracorp, while the policy on 100 for 100 seeks to support President Muhammadu Buhari's quest to create millions of jobs in one decade.
We want to work hard to reduce the size of foreign exchange that people come to ask for to import goods that can be produced within Nigeria. And we are really very determined to achieve this, and we are calling on the support of everybody to achieve this objective.
He affirmed the bank's position in securing deposit money banks and advised the public to seek redress on frivolous bank charges, pointing out that the apex regulator will not tolerate acts contrary to its position. In Abuja, Leah Katungbaba, NTA News.
At the National Assembly, the House of Representatives has urged security agencies to put in more effort towards resolving cases of security breaches, major among which is kidnapping in Anambra State and the entire southeast. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Legislative proceedings commenced Tuesday with the issue, which came under matters of urgent public importance, from Representative Chris Azubogu. He recalled cases of kidnapping in Anambra and Ebonyi states.
The kidnap of one Mr. Obiora Abasimelo, the candidate of Labour Party for the just concluded Anambra governorship election. He was kidnapped on the 18th of September 2021 in Anambra.
The need to address security challenges around waterways in parts of Cross River State was also raised by Representative Alex Ebuna. The lawmakers call for security beef up in all affected areas. 2 bills were passed, including the bill that seeks to prohibit dichotomy and discrimination between first degree and higher national diploma in same professional field for the purpose of employment. A bill to amend the National Business and Technical Examinations Board Act passed second reading.
The law establishing NAPTEP has not been upgraded adequately to cover the facts that they are sitting for some of the examinations they seek for.
It will curb the menace of unemployment, thereby eliminating all vices associated with this kind of unemployment.
Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris urged lawmakers to work more on improving existing institutions.
We should work to protect our corporate integrity as to what we are doing. And I believe this institution have a lot of window too to make money for the institution and make money for the country through their research programs.
House Committee on Health Institutions has submitted the report on the bill seeking to amend the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll take our first break now. More reports when we return. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, for a nation to move with the times, there is the need to draw strength from cultural wealth. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this as he unveiled the proposed International Center for Yoruba Arts and Culture project at the University of Ibadan. Let's get more on this from Lanre Gbeleyi.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, alongside custodians of Yoruba culture, leaders, traditional rulers, and political office holders in the Southwest, has launched and presented to the world the International Center for Yoruba Arts and Culture to teach and showcase the ethos of the Yoruba people. The Vice President captured the vision of the project in a speech, describing it as a place that should be a repository of Yoruba culture, faith, and lifestyle as it reveals their place and role in the timeline from the past to the present.
You have initiated a place that will give context and depth to our understanding of our past, our place and role in the present, and hopefully our preparation for the future. A place that will help tell a fuller, deeper, and richer story of a proud, creative, and colorful people.
The convener and distinguished persons corroborated the Vice President in their goodwill messages.
And where you can have an archive and library So once we have that, we believe that our traditions, our language, our art and culture, and our history will be permanently preserved.
Tentatively, the site will be located inside the University of Ibadan. At least that's the plan for now. The organizer says this will aid learning, teaching, and deep understanding of Yoruba culture. In Ibadan, Larry Belay, NTA News.
As the federal government awaits the Lagos State government's white paper on the NSA's Judicial Panel of Inquiry report, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says it is disheartening that the report, as submitted, contains errors, discrepancies and unsubstantiated claims. Anthony Forson reports.
What is currently circulating in public space is simply a rehash of the unverified fake news.
Flanked by the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, and Special Assistant to the President on Media, Office of the Minister of Information and Culture, Shehu Adeyemi, Lai Mohammed dismissed contents of the report, saying the panel's report falls short of its mandate to investigate the Lekki Tollgate allegations, and the same allegations are what is contained in the report, which by all standards wasted taxpayers' money.
That report is nothing but the triumph of fake news and intimidation of a silent majority by a vociferous lynch mob.
In the face of these, some commentators have hailed the report, but some courageous ones, he said, have described it as disgraceful.
All these and many more have raised valid questions on that report. We salute their courage and refusal to be cowed by the rapidly lynch mob that has been screaming blue model since the report was released.
Pointing out key issues that clearly expose discrepancies, errors, and omissions. Lai Mohammed said the report omitted the testimony of a ballistic expert who testified before it and gave a professional explanation to what caliber of arms was used, which made it obvious that firearms used were locally fabricated weapons. The panel's report, Lai Mohammed again pointed out, also contradicted itself in the testimony of forensic pathologist Professor John Obafunwa on the number of deaths and those who sustained injuries. Most intriguing, the minister fingered, was the evidence of a man who counted 11 dead bodies in a black military van having been left for dead, emerged in a video to testify. That testimony became crucial to the panel. Another intriguing aspect of the report was that a man who reported seeing the dead body of his brother himself ended up being on the list of the panel's deceased persons. Inconsistencies in the way the police were said to have cleared the Lekki Tollgate equally cast some doubt on the report, Lai Mohammed maintained. Now, Lai Mohammed asks, how can the panel convince anyone that names of deceased persons in the report are not fictitious? Since the panel remains indifferent with the case of police personnel brutally murdered or massive destructions of police stations and vehicles during the NSAS protests, it is therefore clear that the panel report in circulation cannot be relied upon. CNN on its part, Lai Mohammed said, was quick to celebrate the report.
CNN moved in its report on the findings of the panel, which fell below the main standards of journalism. Secondly, CNN rushed to the air to celebrate an unsigned and unverified report as is riddled with inconsistencies, errors, discrepancies, and irregularities. That is the double faux pas by this organization that is eager and willing to compromise standards just to claim vindication.
Sadly, some Nigerian media followed suit, a show that explicitly points at a deliberate attempt to vilify the government at all costs. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
In other news, President of the African First Ladies Peace Mission and First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has reaffirmed the determination of the mission towards promoting peace and conflict resolution on the continent. The First Lady stated this during a fundraising dinner organized to mobilize resources for the construction of the permanent secretariat of the Peace Mission. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Few hours after laying the foundation for the construction of the headquarters of the African First Ladies Peace Mission, this dinner is being held to mobilize resources for the structure. President of the mission and Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari underscored the contribution of the past and the current First Ladies from across the African continent, with particular acknowledgement to the former First Lady of Nigeria, Mariam Abacha, who was the founder of the mission in 1997 and the pioneer president, and whose contribution to peace building across the continent is enormous. She noted that the organization has been into existence since 1997 without a functional permanent office, hence the need for embarking on this project for the smooth operation of the peace mission.
The peace mission has been in existence for 26 years now, but lacks a befitting functional structure as its secretariat. As we witness the foundation laying ceremony, it becomes necessary to organize this event. On this note, while we appreciate your presence tonight, we also count on your support in actualizing the vision of having a befitting and permanent secretariat for the peace mission.
The African First Ladies and other stakeholders took turns to state their determination towards actualizing this noble objective.
The African Peace Mission that we're here to fundraise for, it is in Nigeria, but I think this is an African thing. And I'm here standing on this platform asking you all to please give generously to this program.
The need to bring the enormous influence of the First Ladies of the region to deal with the issues of peace is a unique and welcoming idea.
For some time now, African First Ladies have played important roles in the promotion of the culture of peace through the African First Ladies Peace Mission.
And certainly you all have a great role to play. And we are quite honored that you are here today to support her. And we are all so proud to be associated with it. And we believe that under her leadership, the Peace Mission will achieve greater heights.
I have the mandate of the members of the Federal Executive Council to notify their commitment to support this noble cause.
All supports and donations are to be made to the designated account of the African First Ladies Peace Mission. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola has restated the federal government's commitment to an improved passport application process for Nigerians at home and in diaspora. In a statement by Shola Fasiri, media advisor to the Minister of Interior, this was at the official rollout of the enhanced e-passport at the Nigerian High Commission in London, United Kingdom. The minister explained that the new enhanced passport has sophisticated security features, making it one of the most secure in the world. Acting Controller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service, DCG Isa Jiri, also revealed that the service's readiness to meet the demands for passports in the United Kingdom, adding that his officers are ready to roll out the new passports at the official rate published on the Nigeria Immigration Service website. Now, with the workload of the judicial sector in Nigeria increasing by the day amidst the need for speedy dispensation of justice, a new set of judges has been sworn in by the Chief Justice of the Federation to man the Federal Capital Territory High Courts. Olabode Arewa was at the swearing-in ceremony and now reports.
That I will not allow my personal interest to influence my official conduct or my official decisions.
Those are the new judges of the Federal Capital Territory High Courts, taking their oaths of office before the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad. The judges, numbering 22, were appointed to fill existing vacancies in courts across the nation's capital. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, in a charge, said Although the judges have been found worthy in character and conduct, they still need to justify their appointments by keeping to the code of conduct for judicial officers.
If you are lazy-minded and you are appointed to the court, please you better brace up. There's a lot of work in the court. Please respect the oath you have just taken.
With the increase in the workload of the courts, the authorities have also adopted the use of information and communication technology to conduct court proceedings. In Abuja, Olaboderewa, NTA News.
A convergence of public-private sector players in Abuja is seeking ways to fully harness the opportunities to be created by the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement at subnational levels. Moplang Dakok reports that the initiative is being championed by the National Action on AFCFTA in collaboration with the Nigeria Governors Forum.
Nigeria joined other countries to ratify the African Continental Free Trade Agreement in December 2020 to create a single market connecting almost 1.3 billion people across 57 countries. 1 year on, Nigeria is holding discussions towards full implementation of the trade agreements. This time, the National Action Committee on AFCFTA, in conjunction with the Nigeria Governors Forum, has brought together stakeholders from the subnational levels in facilitating states' AFCFTA development strategy.
At the subnational level, the governors must clearly understand what the trade opportunities are for their businesses, for their communities. They must look for the financing that will make trade happen.
Stakeholders say government is leaving no stone unturned towards exploiting opportunities that could grow their economies and the single market as well.
Nigeria is already utilizing regional trade opportunities, contributing approximately 76% of total trading volumes in the economic community of West African states region. But in order for all this to happen successfully, I think we need to change our mentality.
For the states, the target is to boost internally generated revenue, expand market territories, improve the ease of doing business, and grow the economy. Moplang Dakok, NTA News.